Hey everybody, welcome back. Mike Dokter here, coach of house basketball. The high school team, we are reading through Pound the Stone by Joshua Medcalf, the sequel to the book Chop Wood, Carry Water. If you are joining us for the first time and you just stumbled across this video, thank you. I appreciate you watching. Gotten a lot of cool views, cool comments, and I appreciate you guys watching the series. If you like what you hear, go ahead and watch the rest of them. If you have not read Chop Wood, Carry Water, I'd strongly recommend it. I got the whole book on videos just like this with thoughts as well, so feel free to go back to the other playlists on my page and take a look there. So chapters 19 and 20 today, and chapter 19 of Pound the Stone by Joshua Medcalf, called Sides to a Box. Dang, you look like a totally different guy. Travis stood at Russ and Jan's door looking at Jason in his slacks and button-down shirt. He couldn't believe the transformation. Yeah, Jason nodded. I feel different too. Hopefully it's a good thing. Travis grinned. You do look better without a mohawk. Come on, let's go sell some books. Travis was spending the day with Jason after being away at a summer academic training program for high-achieving high school students. It was held at an Ivy League college, and all summer Jason had seen the highlights from Travis's Instagram. Days at the lake on jet skis, tours of New York City hotspots, even a charity golf tournament where Travis got to play with the NBA players. Jason thought the two of them couldn't have had more different summers, but Travis seemed like he couldn't be happier to be there, going door to door with Jason. He jumped in and even helped sell a few books thanks to his contagious personality. That evening, they punched out early to get in some time on the court together. After a summer of mostly solo practice, it felt great to play with Travis, and Jason was reminded of how much he loved the energy and action of playing with a teammate. They finished the workout sweaty, tired, and happy, and walked back to Russ and Jan's in the humid air as the sun set. Travis smiled, dribbling the ball. Man, I forgot how fun ball can be. I needed this. I've been putting in too many hours studying. For the college prep thing, yeah, it's supposed to basically guarantee you the school of choice. It's just a lot of work, a lot of pressure. He sighed, waving it off. Nothing like this. I mean, in a good way. You really got a good thing going this summer. What? Are you kidding me? This summer sucks. I don't know about that. Seems to me like you really like what you're doing, and you get to hang out with Russ and Jan for dinner, and then go play ball at night. That sounds perfect to me. Perfect? This is the opposite of perfect. Trust me. I haven't had a day off all summer. And don't tell me I've got a perfect summer when you're the one going to the lake and getting to golf with NBA players. If anyone's having the perfect summer this year, it's you. Travis reddened like he was embarrassed. He mumbled, those are just pictures, man. So what? I'd rather be doing that than doing this. Plus, at least you know that you have a spot waiting for you back on the team. Hey, after what I've seen today, you got this, buddy. Travis shot Jason an encouraging smile as they turned into Russ's driveway. They looked up to find Russ standing in the front of a massive cardboard box. He lit up when he saw them. Perfect timing, gentlemen. Can you help me haul this into the backyard? Jason and Travis picked it up, waddling into the backyard. They set the box down with a thick thump. Jason looked at it curiously. What is this thing? This is a Traeger grill. Grills the best steaks in the country. How's practice? He's rusty, Jason joked, nodding to Travis. He's been too busy having the perfect summer to play pickup ball. Travis shrugged it off, but Russ noticed him get quiet, so he said, It's funny, perfect means very different things depending on who you ask. Well, what do you mean? Let me ask you a question. How many sides does this box have? He pointed at the grill box. Jason and Travis exchanged looks, then counted the box's sides. 6, obviously. Russ just turned up an eyebrow. Are you sure? Yeah, Jason shook his head. Travis is like the second-rate person in our class. We're sure. Russ sighed. Well, you were close. The box actually has 12 sides. There's a front side and a back side to each of those 6 sides you said it has. Jason groaned and shot Travis a look. I'm sorry, he does this all the time. Trick questions and stuff. He turned back to Russ, who was still smiling. So what's your point? Russ laughed. The point is that in life we often forget that what we see isn't always all there is. And there's always more sides to everything and everyone. Every person and every event in our lives is multidimensional. Just because we aren't aware of them doesn't mean those sides don't exist. But here's the really important thing. We make decisions and our reality is influenced by our perception and our perspective, not by the thing itself. There's always another side to consider, another perspective to consider, and when you start to understand this, it opens up your mind to an amazing world of possibilities. But if you close your mind off to alternative perspectives, then you will never be able to see or benefit from them. As soon as you start forming a strong opinion about something, you immediately start shutting your mind off to seeing other possibilities. It's not that they don't exist, it's just that you have extreme difficulty seeing them even if they're right in front of your face. And look, I was once your age too, so I know how tempting it is to think you know it all already, and that old people like me don't understand your world. And yes, sometimes that's true, but other times it's not. The next time you're facing a tough situation, remember this box, and that there are always more sides than you might see up at first glance. What you see in your environment is not reality. It's simply your perception of reality. If you are open to changing your perspective, you might find an amazing reality has been waiting for you in your exact same environment. The same way that a 3-year-old sees that this big box isn't trash. It can be anything from a spaceship to a rainforest. Later that night, as Travis and Jason said goodbye, Jason apologized again. Russ is so weird sometimes. He's got a lot of opinions for a street sweeper. Jason looked surprised. Russ is a street sweeper? He sure doesn't talk like one. Yeah, I know. I don't get it either. The friends said goodbye, and Travis wished Jason well in the remaining weeks. See you soon, man. And don't worry. It'll be over before you know it, and we'll be back on the court together. That chapter is pretty self-explanatory, right? There's always more sides to a story. There's always something going on that we don't necessarily perceive, and everything that happens to us can be to our benefit if we choose to see it that way. Two things. First of all, it's always important to remember that no matter who we interact with, somebody is struggling with something that we have no idea about. It could be their perception of themselves. It could be what they believe their parents or their friends think of them. Oftentimes they're struggling with that, which causes them to behave a certain way because their perception is steeped in their own reality, when we might see them completely different. And it's important to understand that for yourself too. How do you see yourself, and how do you see potential setbacks in your life? A couple of my players over the last couple of years have had to deal with injuries, and they've been incredibly discouraged having to deal with those injuries. And I always try to remind them that this is possibly the best thing that could have happened to them. They don't understand why. First of all, the reason why is because oftentimes the reason they got injured is because they were overworking themselves, or maybe they weren't strong enough in a certain area. But it also gives them an opportunity to be able to work on things that they might not have otherwise worked on. They might be able to develop some really significant skills while being injured and strengthen certain things that they didn't realize that they could strengthen. So there's always other sides to it, and you always got to look for all of those sides, and always think in a mindset and a frame of mind that allows you to try to see things from as many perspectives as possible. Don't let that paralyze you, but understand that there's more out there and you don't understand it all. The more you can approach life and situations and realize that everything is an opportunity to learn and grow, failure or success or whatever else it is, the better off you're ultimately going to be. So that was chapter 19. Here's chapter 20. It's a short one. Persistence. I bet you're sick of listening to me reading. Or not, because you're still watching these videos. All right, chapter 20, persistence. It turned out that Jan's advice about grit made sense for more than just Jason's summer job. While his days were filled with pounding the stone in his business and on the court, his quiet moments were often filled with something else. Kaya. He couldn't get her out of his mind. But she didn't respond to any of his messages on Instagram. And even though she wasn't very active anyway, it made Jason wonder what he was doing wrong. One night after dinner, Jan spotted him scrolling through her feed. When he admitted that it was a girl he liked who wouldn't give him the time of day, she just chuckled. Well, just because your idea of how to get her attention isn't working doesn't mean it'll never happen. Tell me about her. What's she interested in? Jason nodded and he remembered the book that she was reading. Hustle. That was it. He ordered it on Amazon and started reading it immediately when it showed up. He couldn't help but smile at a chapter that said, "There's always a back door." The author had talked about how even though he didn't have a sports psychology degree, he still built his business from the ground up by using his career as a D1 college athlete to provide something most sports psychologists never had. The perspective of someone who understood his clients who were going through what his clients were going through from personal experience. There's always a back door. Those words echoed in Jason's mind as he typed out some notes about the book, and then he messaged Kaya. "Jay, you have good taste in books. Just finished reading that book you were reading. Hustle. It was fire." He knew he might not have a prayer to talk to her, but he thought that if anything was going to get her attention, it was going to be this. Sure enough, the next morning he had a reply. It's so good, right? What was the most helpful to you? Jason was glad he had taken so many notes. He quickly put together a list, and they messaged back and forth for a while before she signed off. Okay, gotta go, back to work. Have a new client to meet with. Good luck. You can keep that luck in your pocket. Haven't you seen Man on Fire? There's only two kinds of people, trained and untrained, and I'm trained. Luck is for people who haven't trained to be clutch. I don't need luck. Jason just shook his head. Who was this girl? Nobody talked like that. Not even the most over-the-top confident guys he knew. He never met anyone like this girl, and it drove him nuts that despite wanting to get to know her so badly, she still turned him down left and right. I mean, that's just part of the narrative, part of the story, and part of the plot to this book. So I don't have a whole heck of a lot to add on that one. Outside of the fact of read the book Hustle, it's great. It's actually Josh's life story, kind of. And it's a fantastic book. It's really, really good. So if you can't tell, I'm a huge fan of Josh from Medcalf. I think his books are amazing. And I relate to him. And I hope that you do too. I hope that you're enjoying it. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you paying attention to these things. If you're finding value from these videos, share them with people you know. I've had people comment on these videos, send me messages about the videos that I have no idea who they are. Different sports, different careers, whatever. It's not people that I'm normally connected with. So the fact that these books are having an impact just tells you how effective something like this can be, and how timeless this wisdom is, and how it can carry over from situation to situation. So that's why I'm doing this. Yes, it's for my team. We read this at every practice. We didn't get a chance to finish it, so we got farther than what I'm reading right now. So my goal is to, again, get the whole book on video so that they can catch up, and that players for next year can catch up, and that anybody can really experience this if they don't have the desire to read. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.